Hi everybody, my name is Heather Martin, and so I am going to show you a couple of things with my mock-up product. Overall, I ended up with what I feel like is a great project, and I feel like if I sat this down before a client that they would have full trust that if I got this to the printer, that the printer would give them exactly what we were going for on the design. I ran into a little bit of hiccups, so I realized that my printer that I thought printed 11 by 17, however, it does not. I learned that last minute. I learned that it scans 11 by 17 documents, but it does not print them. So I ended up having to go the route of Staples/Office Max, and $34 later, and I got what I feel like is, I'm confident in the mock-up that I have. Now, with that being said, per the deliverables for what we need to discuss in our video, I'll show you a little bit about how I messed up, what I've learned in the process, and just hopefully it helps you all out, and then I get some good feedback. You know, guys, let me know what you think about my product and what I could do different or change. All right, so excuse all my mess on the table. So what I have here, let me just say, I understand now even more the importance of bleed. And so in my initial submission, for whatever reason, I couldn't figure out when I did my covers. I figured it out though. Figured out what I did in Photoshop that allowed me not to get a really large PDF, my print marks. I don't know. Anyway, I figured it out. So basically what I did is in Photoshop, I did an 8.5 by 11 canvas and put my photo to that when I really needed to add the 1/8 of an inch to the 8.5 by 11 on all sides, so that when I pulled it into my Illustrator file, that it would have the appropriate bleeds and the safety box that comes up that allows you to know where your text goes. That was now correct and appropriately placed. So I fixed it. So this is the bleed. So there's my quarter trim, my 1/8 of an inch bleed there, and my product comes out to that. And of course, you know, this is your center marks that you have here. So I appreciate so much more now. When a printer says I need bleed on something that I've sent before, I understand bleed now. I understand their side. So the safety marks within it allowed me to, this is my finished product, and I'll show you in a minute, but it allowed my achievement by design, my title of my product, to not go too close to the spine of my manual, and it allowed, you know, me to have room here within my spine, so that this is not running into my spine and this is not running into my spine, and so it allowed for those things. I understand link files now, and I am so appreciative of it. I'm also appreciative of the paragraph, the style sheets, the paragraph style sheets, the object style sheets, the character style sheets, because actually I had something different ready for print this afternoon, and I read the feedback from our professor, our instructor, and I had to go in and change my whole cover and change all of my background in here, my header and footer bars that, fill bars that I did my object styles there. So it made it very easy. It was an easy change. You know, all because of the style sheets, and I'm appreciative of that. As you can see, I chose to take away the white background to do a transparent background. I did it within InDesign. I know how to do the blend options in Photoshop, and I know how to do them in Illustrator, but this time I just chose to do them in InDesign itself to add a transparency effect. So not sure if that's exactly what our professor is looking for, but so this is the finished product. This is a 27-pound paper. I forgive the cut there. Now that I butchered, so I cut on the right line. That was a mishap. Anyway, so with creep, I learned a little bit about creep. I've never heard of creep before, But as you can see, my creep on my project, I did a -1/8 of an inch. It works great on 27-pound paper. So creep just basically, if you go negative, it pulls the pages towards the spine so that when you fold everything, given the thickness of your paper, the weight of your paper, and the size of your paper, if you don't have the creep set right, you will get this effect right here. Now, this one's not stapled because I didn't have a stapler. You see this? This is not a miscut. This is creep being off. I should have done more creep. Now some of it may be a little bit of miscut, but most of it's creep. I noticed that this is 67-pound cardstock paper, which honestly I like the 27-pound regular paper with like a small gloss. It's not fully matte. This is matte, and I don't think it does my colors justice. But anyway, my creep is off. You need the thicker, the heavier the paper, the more you need to do it. So if you can see, I love the richness of this right here. This is the 27-pound. I like this, so it kind of gives it a manual but / magazine feel, and I really like this feel better. So when I went to Office Max, their machine would not cut and staple the cardstock. It was just too heavy, but their machine did in fact staple this for me and trim it, and my trim marks must have been right on because it trimmed it just beautifully. So for printers, and why, you know, as designers, we need to kind of know what they go through. So this is my tutorial, my finished badges, what the badges would look like after your tutorial. My product mock-up here. And this is where I messed up. So initially, this page 28, I had one of the master pages assigned to it, and I needed to assign none, like I did on page 2, because we tried to manipulate it at Staples, and that's what we came up with. So who wants to open up the manual and have your table of contents, and then you have page 27 sitting right here. So FYI, make sure before you take it to the printer that it is, that they're not trying to manipulate it in Adobe Acrobat, and when I try to manipulate a PDF, because it's not going to turn out right. I knew immediately when this came off the press at Staples, I knew immediately that what I needed to do and what I'd done. So I hope that you liked everything. Like I said, I would appreciate feedback, anything I can do to make it better. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I hope you all had fun working on this, and I look forward to seeing everybody's product.